August meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals being held on September 1st, being held because in August we could not get a quorum together, and we have one tonight, so we can make decisions. The requirement of our bylaws is that there are 5 members on the Board of Zoning Appeals, and it takes 3 affirmative votes to pass anything. So if only 2 of us vote for something, it would not be rejected, it would be brought up at the next meeting, you know, and hopefully there would be more people there or addressed or whatever. So anyway, to pass anything this evening, it would take 3 affirmative votes, and we do have 3 people, so that we can do that. So first on the agenda is introduction of members.
I'm Teresa Maxwell, I represent the commissioners.
Everett Snowberger, and I represent Town of Camden.
Jeff Watson, represent the area plan.
Cameron Yates, Area Plan Director.
Cindy Harmon, legal counsel.
Okay, so first thing on the agenda is approval of minutes of July 28th, 2020, and we do not appear to have a copy of that, so not printed, so I guess we will pass on that. Then the first thing on the agenda will be variance 2020-5, John and Sherry Wagner, which are seeking a variance, and it's at, let's see, 8346 North Calvert's Drive, Monticello, Indiana, Clearview subdivision, lot number 6, and it's a permit to construction increasing size of garage and lifting building to elevate the building to comply with floodplain requirements. To permit the garage to be used by increasing size of door. Current dimensions preclude the use of garage for vehicles. More specifically, the request is an application for variance from the Carroll County Board of Zoning Commission, filed by John and Sherry Wagner for the property located at 8346 North Calvert's, Monticello. Homeowner is requesting a 1 foot 9 inch front setback in lieu of the required 20 feet. But you've got it as 20 inch, so I think it's 20 feet. And 3 foot 4 inch side setback in lieu of a 5 foot setback required for property zone L1, Lake Resort, to build a garage on the property as required by the Carroll County Zoning Ordinance, Article 3, Section 4, Paragraph B, setback in front and rear 20 foot and 5 foot for accessory structures. That's the size of 5 foot for accessory structures. So, first thing, do we have a representative for John and Sherry Wagner here? And would you please tell us what you're planning on doing?
Very well, thank you. Chairman, I'm John Levelberg with Eggleston and Lafayette. Dr. Wagner is here with us. Our surveyor is also here in case we might need him. Doctor has owned this piece of property for 20 years, and he filed this petition because the garage, which currently sits on the land, and which has been there, he thinks, for the entire 20 years at least, is not suitable for him to get vehicles in and out of it, and so it needs to be adjusted and changed. So what he wants to do is build a new garage on that, and he will be using, because the existing walls that are there, and they will be then advancing the building 12 feet out into the property one way and 15 feet in the other way. So the variance is kind of interesting, because the variance that we're asking for is really something that would legitimize what is already there on this piece of property and what has been there for years. So that if you look at that one corner, the 1.9 feet on the corner of the garage, when we take and start the work, that point will stay the same. And then when you get down to the other one measurement, that will stay the same too. So we really are simply making legitimate those 2 points, as they already exist. As to the question of variances, I doubt that you could find any fault with this petition under the statutory requirements of, like is there a harm to public health or safety or moral validity? I'm sure I'm familiar with all those. We will not be affecting the use or value of anybody's adjacent, because we're going to be, that's pretty much on these variances, what is absolutely there. Strict application of the ordinance here would create a building which currently doesn't exist for use, and would continue that. That would be wrong. And what we're asking for here is a minimal departure from the ordinance which has been in existence since day one. Doctor's here to answer any questions that you might have, and we would respectfully request that you approve those practices. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Can you see that, Mr. Chairman, or do you want me to clarify?
I can see it.
Okay.
Thank you. Cameron, I guess I got a little out of sequence. I should have asked you if fees were paid, properly advertised, signed, posted as required.
Yes, all the requirements were met,
Okay.
posted in the paper, all the signs and letters came back, so, yes, all things that were needed from Mr. Wagner were provided.
Okay, and have you received any communications either for or against this?
I have
Okay.
several, and you guys should have got copies of via email. You guys can do it. I have not. Everybody was sent.
Can you summarize for us what?
I think the biggest confusion is, there's a lot of confusion on the 1.9. I think a lot of the people I spoke to, think the 1.9 setback is to the peak of the island, and a lot of them think that this has to do with the home, the dwelling. So I spoke with a gentleman that lives down in there, and he kind of explained to the neighbors that, you know, he was kind of the spokesperson for the group, that it is not that dwelling, it's only the garage, and then 1.9 is right there on that corner. I think a lot of confusion was they thought it was going down to the peak of the island there. And again, this has absolutely nothing to do with the structures that connect to it or the existing house. This is only for the garage. I'm not sure if he's here tonight or not. He was gonna be here. So that was the main confusion there. Didn't have anybody say that, a lot of them said that they knew it was gonna bring a nice home to the neighborhood, and they were okay with that. They were just concerned about the setbacks, with the confusion of the 1.9 foot, so. The neighbor directly to the, right of the existing garage was concerned about the runoff. So we addressed that with the surveyor. He did type up a letter, kind of explaining that it's not gonna be an adverse effect with this structure. I'm not sure who's all in the crowd, so I know they did call and say they would be here, so I'm not sure who's here.
Okay. So how many letters do you have?
Repeat letter two? Yes. They're in the process of moving, so I'm hoping the stuff didn't get shipped again. They did. They're just downstairs on my other file. So we'll find it.
review subdivision. For this number 7, is no boat house shall be erected on the lake front that is more than 10 feet above the water level of Lake Freeman, must have a flat deck top rail. So that won't interfere any with that, is it?
What's that?
Number 7,
No, this is not a boat house.
No, this is the garage.
okay. I just want to clarify.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
The gentleman I spoke to several times is gonna be here tonight, so
Okay.
I don't know if he's in the crowd or not.
Hopefully it's here. Do you wanna give us your staff report, please?
John Wagner submitted an application for a variance on July 22nd, 2020. After meeting with Mr. Wagner, his intent is to increase the size of the garage, elevate and bring it into flood protection grade for state requirements. The property is located at 8346 North Caverns Drive, Monticello, Indiana, 47960. Property description, that's the track on that. Located in Jefferson Township, Clearview subdivision, lot 6, which you guys have a map of and also evidence of. The sign was posted, the public notice was published in the Carroll County Comment. We also republished it for tonight's meeting as well. And a notice was sent to the adjoining property owners as required. The homeowners requested on 1 point, did you read this at the start? Is this the one that you read?
Yes, I did read it. That was on the credit for the zoning rules.
Okay.
It's right here.
In lieu of the 20-foot setback and a 3.4-foot setback in lieu of the 5-foot setback, as properly zoned O1, required by the Carroll County zoning ordinance. Article 3, Section 4, the setback for the front is 20 feet, and rear setbacks are 5. The approval would not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community. The property will be improved upon, which will increase the assessed value of the property, income of the community. The granting of this variance would not impede the orderly development of the surrounding properties. Adequate utilities and access to the road currently exist on the property. The staff feels this would improve the area and provide additional improvements to the property. The staff would also provide a favorable recommendation for approval of this variance.
Thank you. Any questions from the board so far? Hearing none, are there anyone in the public here in favor of this variance who would like to speak?
Are you opening the public hearing?
Yes, there's to be addressed, this will be opening the public hearing at 7:16. Anyone wish to speak in favor of this variance? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this variance?
One more thing I want to mention.
Okay.
Like I said, I apologize, we were in the process of moving, I think some things might have. So there was nobody in the audience, there it is, that's what I wanted. Stuck to the back. And you guys, in your new packets that I gave you today, Mr. Reicher attached a different drawing than what we had sent to you and posted before. Additional drawings. Kind of different view of us.
I doubt that it makes much difference, but just on your staff report, you have clear view, and they have a clear view. Just so you know.
You want me to do it? Okay. This is a letter to the Carroll County Area Plan Commission, attention Cameron Gates, opposed to the front setback of variance request for 8346 North Calvert's Drive. Your area plan commission, the property owners listed below from Clairview subdivision strongly oppose a portion of the variance request submitted by John and Sharon Wagner for the property at 8346 North Calvert Drive, Monticello. The 20-foot setback should be enforced. That is the only protection our subdivision has to keep structures built away from the waterfront. Clairview subdivision is not subject to the oversight of the SFLECC, and Area Plan Commission is the body of government to help us enforce all established rules. We are not opposed to the development proposed by Wagner's. We support the enhancement of the parcel and understand the economic gain that a top quality construction will bring to them and the subdivision. The plans for the accessory structure garage add 12 feet to both the south and west side of the current structure. We feel that the property to be constructed should be moved away from the waterfront and comply with the 20-foot setback, as it is also raised to comply with federal flood rules. Approving this portion of the variance would also set a precedent for future homes to be constructed within 1.9 feet from the waterfront as part of the property line extends into the water. Boundary survey attached. Okay. And this is signed by Matthew Metzger, Robert Schultz Jr., Maureen Schultz, Mark Amsler, Mary Beth Fitzgerald, Jeffrey Schutte, and somebody I can't make their name out. I don't know, maybe you can make it. And on this is a map, and it shows the area that they want to protect would be the upper left-hand corner of the property is shown on that map right there. So I think Cameron is correct in that the people in opposition think it's going to be right next to the water, and it's not. Any questions from the public on that?
Once I did speak with Matt and explain that part to him, that this is the existing garage, nothing is going to that deep.
Yeah.
So I was hoping he would be here to explain that to us, because he had the conversation about it.
Okay. It would have been nice if he'd been here. Good.
With the 15 feet to the rear of the building, and 12 feet to the side, how close is that for the existing house?
I don't, to the existing house,
Yeah. Okay.
does it say on the survey?
I can't make
Because
it.
the existing house is not gonna be there.
Well, the existing house going
The
in.
existing house will, is that, sure, he's still here, it's my understanding the existing house will be, tore down and rebuilt at some point as well. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
There's no bearing on this thing.
Does Mr. Surveyor, do you have any idea how close it will be?
I guess what, how close what is?
The new construction of the garage, the distance between it and the existing house?
No, I don't. If it's not dimensioned on the survey yet, we won't get it.
Well, let's see, 1 inch is 30 feet.
Yeah, they have the 15 and they.
It's certainly right, not right next to the thing, and there's quite a bit.
Isn't it,
And that house, like I said, that house is not gonna stay.
is it 5 feet for distance between accessory structures and primary structures?
6 feet for part of the wall. 6 feet for part of the wall.
6 feet without a firewall, 5 feet with a firewall?
And part of the wall, like a garage in the house.
Okay.
It's well over that.
You see,
The existing house is not gonna be
It's
this.
the masonry structure, you didn't have it.
Oh, the house is a masonry structure? Okay. We have the
then it's all irrelevant, because this house is not gonna stay there, so.
Well, and I know that, maybe, well, we have to judge on, based on what we see here today. Right.
There, you could park, or you could drive cars, but I know there's plenty of spaces there now, exactly how much, I'm not sure. You guys like,
Jeff did also.
That might be something we need to address in granting a variance, you know, I'm just bringing up as a suggestion. I don't know, Cindy, what would that be the ramification, legal ramifications if we approve it less than the required setback from the primary structure and accessory structure?
I would think the builder, or the builder's problem, because he's supposed to be burning a firewall when needed. Not us for making decisions on that. It'd be the builder's
I don't
obligation to
I
burn
don't
a
know if
firewall.
that's a zoning
I don't think it's his own
issue.
Okay.
Okay, I just wondered what it would look like in the lot,
yeah,
Yeah.
the new or the?
with the structure and what it look like, with the house and the dog, it's different.
Yeah, when the house is gone, you know, then the new structure would have to be built in compliance with the setback requirements from the accessory structure.
Correct.
Or a variance granted in accordance with that, you know, what would be addressing what's existing here today. So if a zero setback,
You know, it's a setback from the property line, that's the existing, it's an existing structure.
Jim, you know where that's at in the rules? Distance between, primary and accessory structure.
I don't think there's anything, we don't have code, so there's nothing in there that says you can have it. The way I feel with Doug, if we follow Indiana code, it would have to be at least a foot. Don't follow code, so it can be,
It's not entered in the,
Oh, it's accessory structures and the property line is different.
correct.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing with the property line.
accessory structure is 5 foot, house is 7,
Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so if the house was on, if this was a dwelling, it would be 7, not 5, is that,
Five.
so was that your
Okay,
confusion?
yes,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Okay, did I call for anyone in opposition of this?
Yes.
Okay, so, are there any other comments anyone wishes to make, or input? If not, I'll close the public hearing at 7:27. And, so then we go on to the board, any questions from the board or discussion? None? None? Okay, everybody heard everything you wanna hear, and then I would call the question for whether we make a motion to proceed with the questions for the variance.
I mean, we received the questions for the variance.
Any discussion from the board? Well, second. Do I hear a second? Motion's made and second. Any discussion from the board? Hearing none, call the question. All in favor of proceeding with the variance question, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we have to address 3 questions for variance according to the the rules, the approval, the first question is, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. And a motion must be made in such a manner that demonstrates that it will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare.
The property line, the building on the property line is not changing, the critical issues on the two areas stay the same, it's enlarging the structure more towards the conservative property line, so I can't see where it's causing problems for a while.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion from the board? Hearing none, call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Second question is, the use and value of the adjacent property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner.
I move that we approve this part of the variance because where the location is not going to affect any of the neighbors by doing that little island part out into the lake.
Second.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Discussion from the board. Hearing none, call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Third question, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in a practical difficulty of the use of the property.
I move to grant this portion of the variance due to the fact that current garage will not house the vehicles that they need to have a house.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion from the board? Hearing none, call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. You've been granted a variance.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Second thing is variance 2020-6, Craig and Aaron Ebershoff, is that correct?
Ebershaw.
Ebershoff. Okay, and the property is located at 11983 West, 800 North, Delphi. Property owner wishes to construct a 2,095 square foot, two-story dwelling on the subject lot. Present zoning requires a minimum lot size of 6,000 feet for a lot where a new home is proposed. Strict application of the present zoning ordinance will prohibit this construction based on the existing lot measuring 5,641 square feet. The homeowner is seeking a variance from the required 6,000 square feet to 5641. Proposed structure would not have any adverse effect on the use of the neighboring properties and could serve to help increase the value of the subject and adjoining lots. Cameron, was the advertised properly, signs posted properly, and in the newspaper?
Was.
Okay, fees paid as required.
Fees paid, signs properly posted in the newspaper.
Okay. And, we're supposed to do the staff report first, but is there, we'll go ahead and do the owners here. Is Craig or Aaron here this evening, and do you wish to speak? What?
They're not.
All right.
No, they're not. I'm Bob Rose from R.W. Gross and Associates.
Okay.
And the builder,
You're representing them?
yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And Steve Schrader here, Schrader Homes is here, who will be building this, if approved. I think the staff report's thorough. The first, present zoning requires a minimum size of 6,000 square feet for a lot. This lot's already created. Can't make more ground there than what there is. And then, the setback variances, to do a nice home improvement here, that needs a little bit more area than what this small lot can give us. So that's the request for the setback variances. Steve and I are here for any questions.
Do you by chance know when the lot was plotted?
I can make a guess. Got a boundary
No,
survey.
there's one there. But this is, one's on the front side of it.
This is the.
Yeah, one
This
is
is
here,
the water right here.
Sandy Beach is here.
This is the water over here to the right.
So do you have a view on the water?
No.
The house will be facing the water?
Correct. This Sandy Beach Road is a private road going to the lot now.
Okay, this subdivision behind there was platted in '52. This description looks like it came from a deed in 1965.
So it's your professional opinion that it was probably plotted prior to 1971?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well before your days.
This is,
65, those were the good old days.
this right up here, this is the road, this is
You're
the
too
private
young.
road.
You were too young.
So right up the road here is tall timbers. And then we get to the bottom of that hill, it makes that hard corner. So Sandy Beach Road, which is this right here, this is the private road. There's already an existing structure here, and there's already an existing structure here. This is the lot in between of those things.
How many lots are going down that road? Just three? Or do we- I think it's-
4, there's another one on the other side of
I
that.
think there's another triangle that's
And then you
kind
get
of
four lots.
a skinny triangle, yeah.
It's a very, very tight congested area.
You can see that homes behind are all on really small lots too.
The interesting part about this is, all these homes here are part of a subdivision. These lots here were not, they were just lots, they were not part of a, I think this was,
It says
Beach Haven, yeah. So, but these, for some odd reason, I'm not sure why, they were never part of, they were never put into the
Because it was the 60s.
subdivision over there, so.
So there's just 3 lots on the.
There's 3, and then there's this corner triangle.
Okay, the triangle's probably,
I don't know if that's, is that LACC or who is it?
okay.
There's a house on there.
Is there a house?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it must be you too.
Okay, so there's basically four units or 4 dwelling units on this. It would be when they built on this private road. And the subdivision to the right of them is serviced by a different road, is that correct?
Correct. Yes, it is serviced by, it's also a private road, we just had a variance for it a couple months ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
So essentially,
the little house on the corner.
Correct.
And they're working on that.
Yes.
And see, you can get to these lots.
But the driveway is on the other, side, it's a circle drive, for those houses to the right.
okay, so the houses in the subdivision are technically serviced by the other road.
Correct. They don't have anything to do with this road. This road is for these lots here.
So it's for four houses that will be on there.
Yeah, there is a circle drive over here for
Okay,
these houses here, it goes down to the big circle.
okay.
And this drive is right, and intended for these lots here.
Okay. All right. Any board members have any other questions you want to ask?
No, I do-
No? You say you do or don't?
I do not.
Do not? Do not? Okay, thanks, sir, appreciate it. Cameron, you want to give us the staff report?
Craig and Aaron Ebersworth submitted an application for a variance on July 23rd, 2020. After meeting with Mr. Ebersworth, actually we spoke on the phone to Mr. Schrader and Chambers. His intent is to construct a two-story dwelling on the lot that is 5,641 square feet instead of the 6,000 feet required under Zone 1, or Zone L1 Lake Resort. The property is located at 11983 West, 800 North. Mr. Ebersworth is also requesting a setback of 0 feet from the rear boundary to the corner of the proposed covered patio and 9 feet 3 inches to the foundation of the house. Carroll County zoning ordinance setbacks are L1 are Article 3, Section 4, paragraph 20 feet from the front, 7 feet from the rear, with sanitary sewer, which this is under the Twin Lakes Regional Sewer District, so it makes a sanitary sewer. 11983 West, 800 North. The sign was posted, the public notice was published in the Carroll County Comment on August 5th, 2020, and notice was sent to all the adjoining property owners. Approval would not be injurious to public health, safety, moral, and general welfare of the community. The property will be approved upon, which will increase the assessed value of the property and the income of the community. The granting of this variance would not impede the orderly development of the surrounding properties. The staff feels this would improve the area and provide improvements to the property. The staff would also provide a favorable recommendation for the approval of the variance. With that said, I have been out there several times for site visits, especially the last month, and it's a very tight lot, and with this road right here that goes to, with only serving these folks, the thing that's, you get holidays, you get a lot of people down there, and it's all over the lake. So the big thing to me is, and I was down there for the 4th of July, a different house, but everything just gets jammed up on the road. So, other than the road, and the traffic and the cars, it's an empty lot, so. It's a private road, so. That's all I got for my report.
I've got a question. Looking at the drawing provided that shows the location of the house on the property and the distance on the setback. One question comes to my mind is, where do vehicles park? Is there a garage?
Yes, there's a two-car garage and there's a driveway.
On
To
the
the-
other side.
Yeah, there's a two-car garage.
You see that?
In the house?
Yes.
Drawing of the house. This
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Do you have the house plans?
Oh, I didn't make it back. So the two-car garage, the parking and stuff will be, there's a circle with an X in it. What is that? It'll be straight off the garage.
Isn't that the,
Is that the grinder?
Yeah, that's a grinder.
Can you drive over that?
It's being moved.
Oh, it's being moved, okay. Okay. Might I ask where it's being moved
To the property line, which would be north of that.
to? Oh, to the north edge of the property, okay.
It's actually already been moved.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? No.
Just have
So-
a comment, this 0 over here, kind of, it occurred to me. The house was set around the property line, and it should be, what, normal 7 feet, here or 5 feet.
For
The house to
the
line.
structure,
Yeah,
7 feet.
7
7
feet
feet.
from the front.
And the 0 is, I believe, the porch.
That's the covered porch, not
Porch
the
will
house
take
part.
it to the 0.
What would be the distance from the house house to the property line.
That's 9.3.
Is that, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to the house to the property line,
9.3.
Then you got the wrong drawing there.
No, we're talking about from, I believe, the side property.
Oh, you mean you should put this one up?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, here you see the 9.3, is that the one you were talking
No,
about?
we've got the zero,
The
right
covered
here in the
patio
lower
takes
right,
it to the
lower
zero
right hand
there.
corner. Lower right hand corner.
The backside is all, not the front.
Yeah, that's the part of just the covered patio part, it's a deck. It's actually a deck,
Well, it says covered porch.
covered deck.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were
That
talking about.
corner
Property
of the
line,
house,
the
the
whole
property
way
line.
This is the property line for the rear.
To the adjoining property line.
Oh, yeah, it's 21.5.
No, on the side yard.
On the side yard.
On the side yard, this is 7 to the house.
There's a zero right there, but that's what he's questioning.
That's a zero, that's a
Yeah,
zero,
I'm
zero.
sorry, yeah, that's
Zero,
7.
zero on the corner of the house.
This is 7.
Okay, okay. So we're looking at that and seeing zero and we're.
Yeah, somehow that.
I don't know what that,
That
that's,
makes sense, because the lot's 58, right? Lot's 58 wide.
Oh, it cut the 7 off, it's 7 foot 0 inches,
7 feet there.
so.
That helps a lot.
The copy machine didn't get the 7, okay.
We did get that stop line.
Okay, 7 foot 0.
I'm sorry, I thought you were
Okay.
talking about the back.
No, we were concerned about the adjoining property owner, because they,
And the lot's 57 wide, and I said 5610, is that what I'm looking at?
58, 58.8 on
Yeah.
the west side.
Yeah,
On the east
58.
side.
It's taking the patio all the way to the property line, and then
86,
86
86,
over.
87.
This is near the house. This is near
53,
the patio.
well, 7 foot 9.
This is in the patio. It's covered patio.
60'9" versus 58.
You got
Well, it's because that line, that north boundary is moving north as it goes west.
Okay, so where the house is at, 7 feet, okay, I understand, thank you.
Okay.
But right here, this side goes in,
So that makes
Okay.
where the house is at, okay.
Yeah, all right.
Sorry.
Thank you, thank you.
But so the-
Very
and then
helpful.
the one that goes right for the setback.
Okay.
That's the one that you talked about.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, from the board, we'll open the public comment at 7:46. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this variance? Please come to stand up.
Like I said, my name's Steve Schrader, I'm the contractor, Steve Schrader Homes, and it's gonna be a beautiful home that will only add value to the show.
And there's nothing on it now. So
Now, empty lot, been empty for,
we apparently go by the wrong spot, because I had a lot of questions for the spot, I thought it was, so
yeah.
I'm glad to know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak in favor of the variance? Anyone wish to speak in opposition of the variance?
Yes, thank you. I have a couple of exhibits that I would like to share.
What is your name?
Caroline Briggs.
Okay.
I am here